Good evening, everyone. Okay.
Good
Good evening,
evening.
everyone. My name is Emmanuel Bello.
So, welcome everybody to the call. Um, we have Emmanuel here. Emmanuel is going to be telling us how we can improve our creativity as designers, and it applies to everybody across all fields. By the way, forgot to mention FYI. So you can tell your friends to join this call. Want to? There was a time last month where there was like a wave of fatigue. I think this session would most definitely help with that. So my name is Manu. I'm a product designer. Yeah, and we have Emmanuel here. So Emmanuel, please feel free to kick off.
Oh, okay. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Happy Easter. Hope everybody enjoyed themselves. Uh, my name is Emmanuel Bello. I'm a designer, and I'm also a member of the Asha Coterie. And this is an Asha Coterie session. So please, hope everyone's ready. So we're about to start. Please hold on. Let me share my screen. Okay. Camera is on. Um, okay. Okay. Is everybody seeing my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay. Hold on. Okay. How to improve your creative performance. This session was sponsored by the Asha Coterie. They do great work. Please later, if you feel like joining to improve your creative and resources and community, please join us. Thank you. Okay. Creative, how to improve your creative performance. In a way, these are just basically little tips and tricks that we can use to improve our creative performance. It could be just be things like maybe sleeping better or how to focus on attacks better and just like that. Something like someone was like there's this quote that basically people just say that okay, let's say most people aim for okay, I need to have a 50% reduction, like in let me say 50% increase in performance, but actually if you have like increase in 1%, like every day 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%, it compounds later to a very high percentage. So that's what we're going to focus on this evening. So okay, yeah. So basically, we're going to increase our creative outputs and productivity without getting burnt out. Also, please pay close attention during this presentation so you don't miss out on some things that might not be written in the slides. Okay, moving on. You're understanding dopamine now. Dopamine. Everybody has heard of dopamine. We have heard of the dopamine hits or burst and all those type of things. So dopamine is a neuromodulator that's responsible for motivation, pleasure, focus, satisfaction that affects our mood and willingness to do hard things and so forth. Too little dopamine can make you feel moody and unmotivated, and too much can make you very hyperactive and prone to a mental crash afterwards. So basically, hello everyone, can everyone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Please
Yeah,
go.
yeah, sure. I hear you.
Okay. So there was this incident that happened. So there was a bunch of drug addicts, heroin addicts. They went to a lab to try and get like heroin, something like I think it's called NDMA, which is like ecstasy. So what happened was that when the lab they changed the chemical composition to something else. So when they took it, they just stood lifeless on the floor. So people were puzzled like, okay, what's going on? Like, how is it that these guys normally when you take heroin, you get the dopamine high and you crash. This one they took it and they were just lifeless. They couldn't do anything and stuff like that. They just got that actually that drug destroyed that dopamine pathway. They said they were not motivated to move up, to stand up, to do anything. They were just there lifeless. Basically, the drug permanently severed their dopamine connections. That's how powerful dopamine is. Dopamine is basically life, in a sense. Without to do anything you want to do, to stand up, to walk, to play, to design, everything is dopamine. You understand? So that's how powerful this chemical is. You understand? So yeah, as since I've clarified dopamine, let's move on. Okay, controlling dopamine now. Now, okay, when it comes to dopamine, we have like a baseline. A baseline is like a normal level of dopamine. Like, okay, my normal baseline. Of am I just normally everybody has a neutral baseline of dopamine. You understand? So basically, when we take something like, let's say we drink a like a soft drinks, or we eat, even eating food like chocolates, sweets and co, increases our dopamine level. Like if you notice, if you eat something sweet and co, you feel a little extra motivated, a little more hyper, in the sense that, okay, the energy and everything, you feel hyped up. You understand? A little bit. What happens most of the time that after that, a little while, it goes back to you go back to your normal old states of dopamine levels. You understand? And that's fine. That's natural and cool. But the thing is that the issue sometimes people have again is that we can increase it to a very high level. You can take energy drinks, the supplements and co. But the problem is that if you take it too much or regularly, there's no problem with taking supplements. The problem is that you have to space it out, because if you don't space it out, um, once you get your high, you have like an immense crash. So you might the thing with, like, during that period, you'll be very, let's say you'll be very energetic. You will do your task completely, but after a while you crash completely. And that's what we're trying to avoid with this session. We're going to teach you like a proper way to actually control your dopamine, so that you can actually trick your brain to actually make it to like tasks, so that it will be easier for you and you'll be able to avoid crashes too. Okay. Has everybody understood? Has everybody understood what I'm saying? Can I move on?
Yes, you can. If we have
Okay.
questions, we would ask once you're done with the session,
Okay.
so as
Okay.
not to interrupt you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
Optimal methods to control dopamine: cold showers or baths. Now, what the research is that, okay, some people, they gave them chocolates, they gave them coffee, they gave them this and that. What they realized that, okay, chocolate increases your dopamine levels. It makes you increases your state, your energy state and co. Drinks, so energy drinks increase it, supplements increase it and so. But what they discovered that you usually last for, like, let's say if you take a chocolate, this thing lasts for like maybe 20 times. Let's say okay, last for 20 minutes. That's like the minimum you have 20 minutes or 10 minutes. You have that. This after a while, you go back to your normal baseline of dopamine. You understand? So what they have discovered that about cold showers and baths is that it increases your dopamine at 1.5 times the normal levels. But unlike others that, okay, after like an hour or 20 minutes, it dies. This one, throughout the whole day, you still have like that elevated amount of dopamine in your system. You understand? So you still have that focus, controlled ability to focus on your tasks, and to have the energy and the motivation to do what you want to do, you're set up to do. And that's using alcohol. Now, most of the people are saying, okay, cold showers, okay, in Nigeria, most of us, we don't have showers, let's be honest. We don't have all those type of things. So what I usually do, me personally, what I use is that I get water bottles and I fill them with water, and I put them in the freezer, and I make sure that it gets ice block. So when I want to have my bath, I just put like 4 inside my water, wait for like 20 minutes, let it be cool, then I have my bath with it. And okay. And that's it. Also again, hello? Is everybody hearing
Yeah,
me?
I hear you. Please
Okay,
go
okay.
on. Thank you.
So also again, as you're having the baths, this about dopamine is basically, let me just touch on this one point and I'll move on. I'll explain later. Dopamine is that you have to learn to space out your dopamine, um, like the cold baths and shall not like every day, oh, do this, and just space it out so that uh, just learn. Okay, just learn to space it out. Then I'll continue. I'll expand on that later. Okay, minimizing your dopamine inputs now. You should learn to adapt our dopamine. Now everybody knows that as a designer, Spotify is our playground. We all go to Spotify, or we have our music playlists. We share, as you design your pixels, you have to get that motivation, like your music and your beat and co. Yeah, and another key factor again is to minimize our dependence on music and co to motivate us, in the sense that uh let's say Monday to Tuesdays you use music to design. Wednesday, Thursdays, or to work, you use money to work or design. Wednesday, Thursday, you just say, okay, I'm not going to use music today. I'm going to be like active and cool and stuff like that. Obviously, the first time you're going to try this thing, it's going to be horrible to you because music has been your thing that be keeping you up. But now you're not going to just go full this thing and cool. You'll be feeling groggy, but it's necessary so that you won't be dependent too much on music to give you that dopamine high. So that even though so it makes the task in the so over the long term, the task becomes simpler because you now realize that okay, this task now, even though there's no music, although nothing and cool, I'm still going to be focused, motivated, and I'm still going to be active doing this task. So that's the goal. And also the value input in the sense that okay, let's say like your energy levels that are limited. You understand? Your dopamine focus level is limited. So you have limited to focus. So if you're going to do heavy work, make sure to remove your phones. I know some people receive some important calls, so that's fine. You can put it on silent or something else, or keep it in a place that okay, you can see notification, but it's not too it's not how would I put that? Not that when okay, I'm designing this a box, then you hear that notification sound. That notification sound just distract you, and that, to go back to that focus state again, that's going to be another issue again. So that's the okay. That's another way you can manage your dopamine input so that you don't be because how like dopamine is like like a bank. You understand? So you have to make sure that you don't let too many devices or too many things take your dopamine levels, like your attention and your energy away for what you're about to do. So that's all now. Moving on. Okay, this is a very like it's very essential, but it's very hard. Even me, doing the session, I'm still trying to learn it, but people have said for the long term, it will be very essential. So hard work now. Let's say now your boss gives you a task. So let's say okay, I want to do a case study and code. You look at it, you say, okay, this thing is hard. And it takes mental and physical energy to do this thing. You understand? Now, a certain mistake, most people do that. Okay, we're going to do it for the goal now. Like, okay, the goal is simple. I want to do an app case study, or I want to complete these tasks. I want to do this now. Cool. Now, that's not a bad method. It works. But the problem is that as you're doing the job, it's like you're grinding. It's like you're pushing against the grain. You're just like, okay, let me just push it. It's like hustle culture. Like, wake up, hustle earlier, let's push it, let's just go, like let's just try and get this thing done. Like when it's done. And the thing about that now, when you now complete your goal, it's like a burden has been lifted off your shoulder. Like, okay, yes, I've done it. And it's now go. But in a way, it's not productive any longer because every time like something like every time a new task comes, you're always going to say, okay, I have to grind and co and do the same thing every single time. So what we do now, the process is long, is hard, but is essential. So okay, let's say that okay, I want to design a mobile app screen or a website. I could set a reward of eating out after I complete the task, and that's fine. There are no issues with rewards. You understand? But it has a tendency to make okay, I've already said that part. So enjoying the process is to trick our brains into doing hard things by pretending that we love the task, even though it is training and it is boring. Now let me just say that. Let me just say that sentence again. Enjoying the process is to trick our brains into doing hard things by pretending that we love the task, even though it is training. By doing this, the brain releases small doses of dopamine that keeps you going. So wait, hold on. Now, okay, how will I explain this now? Let's say now I'm going to do like this app screen and code. Okay, it is boring. It is hard. It is this and cool. But if I was focusing on okay the reward, okay, I do the app screen now. As I do the app screen, like I app case study, I'm going to post it on Behance, I'm going to put it on my portfolio. So I'm already seeing the rewards that okay, these are actually positive things. And that's fine, that's good. You can also say, okay, after I do this now, I'm going to get a drink. I'm going to go out with my friends and have a night out. That's also good. But doing that can put in a grind state that okay, I don't need to just grind this thing out for this period of time, and I'll get the reward of going out, having a drink, and so forth. But if you have to tricking our brain now is basically like okay, you're lying to your brain. I know people say, okay, oh, we're lying. Oh, yes, you're lying to your brain. Even when someone told me, I say, you have to lie, I say, lying. I mean, yeah, you have to trick your brain. So basically, let's say you want to design now, even though you know that, okay, this thing You are seeing components, you are seeing colors, you say, ah man, this thing is man, this thing is hard, man. It's boring. I can't do this thing. Stuff like that. But what you do is that when you're doing it, you say, okay, I love this task. This task is actually enriching. Like just say those words to yourself, like as you're doing any task, just say, okay, I love this task. This task is actually enriching, actually going to help me in the future. It's actually very good. And as I'm doing it, I will enjoy it. Now you look at those, you look at it, you just say, okay, that's very stupid. Why would I? But that declaration before you do a task, research has shown is that it actually gives like small doses of dopamine already be released that okay, this human being now that I'm inside now just said, okay, this tax is lovely. So I have to ginger this guy. I have to ginger him to give him the strength that okay, you do this tax and you will love it and co. So basically we have to psych ourselves and say we love this tax. We enjoy it. It's actually very good for us and actually has some positive things that will bring forth once it's completed. That's the mindset and this thing and go. And it's very difficult because it's without that reward system, it could be difficult that okay, there's nothing, it's boring and cool. We have to try and enjoy the process. But you can have ways to love the task, no matter how boring, no matter how simple-minded or how okay, I'm just pressing this button and go. We have to just say, okay, we're enjoying it. Like see the bigger picture, like okay, the this thing might be boring, but it has this essential. And I love this task and I enjoy it. So basically, you're tricking your brain to love this task so that, and what it does is that slowly, not immediately, this is not like, if I tell you that, okay, in 3 days now, you start doing mad ass designs, it's not going to work like that. What happens is that, and in the long term, you start getting comfortable. In a way, in the long term, that you don't even trick your brain. Once you just go to your design screen, you don't even need motivation. You just start designing. Before you know it, yeah, you already love the task already. You're already pushing it. You're already enjoying the task already. You don't even need to stress yourself. That grind that it's boring and cool. You just do it and you enjoy it. But that thing is to enjoy it. That's not like okay, I want to strain, I want to hustle. You have to enjoy the process, even though it's straining and it's okay mentally and physically. It deals with your body, but you have to learn to enjoy the task so that we can. So in the long term, we will reach a state where, how do I put it? What they call it, like reflex actions. So in a sense, it's like a reflex action. Like you just go up, you sit down on your seat, you carry your mouse, and you just reflexively just start designing, and it does not strain. You just like, oh yeah, I just do this, and I don't feel anything. Like it does not take anything away from me because I love it and I enjoy it, even though sometimes it is straining and it is hard for the brain, but I enjoy it. Okay, moving on. So now, this is another concept. It's called system set of goals. Now, there is sometimes systems can feel like a goal. So in a different context, but systems are basically like activities that we can do every day that lead to a larger goal. Let's say I want to write a novel now. Now, that's an audacious goal. Writing a novel, like a 500-page novel, you think, okay, this is crazy. Like, I can't do it. And that's what happens that when we set like an audacious goal, okay, I'm going to do like 50 app case studies this year. I'm going to do this and go. You just be like, okay. And you now sit down, you now actually start thinking that, okay, I just have to do 50 app case studies. Number one, I don't know what to do. I am the thing looks from afar like okay, I can't do this anymore. So every day is like okay, I'll do it today. And you do it today, next day you do it, next day again you do it, which also leads to procrastination. So what you have to do is that okay, you just say okay, I want to write a novel today. You don't even need to how do I put it to even say okay, I'm going to design 50 app screens and code. Just say let me just design a block. Let me just design like a square, just make some funny shapes. Let me just design, let me just, have a feel of it. Like you have to start your mindset. If you're starting a mindset like a system is that you're going to say, okay, I'm going to achieve, okay, I'm going to just write, I'm going to write a page. I could even write 3 lines. I was like, okay, let me just write three lines of words. Okay, let's say once upon a time, this and this and this. Yes, I did something today. Yes. When that thing, as you just did that thing, you accomplished something. And that you feel good, like, okay, yeah, this is not looking that difficult. Let me just continue the system. So from that 3 lines, you move to a page. Like, okay, I'm completed with 3 lines. Let me move to a page. Okay, page. Okay, let me start doing 5 pages because okay, I could crank a page. Like, let me now start moving to 5 pages. Before you know it, you start increasing your output. Like, okay, and it goes like with design. Okay, let's say design. Let's say today, let me just design a block like, okay, rectangle, a circle. Let me try and mix it up. Let me just play with my Figma or my Illustrator. Let me not, let me never forget. Let me not say I'm not doing it, but let me just focus. That's okay. First day, okay, I did this mini poster design. Second day, okay, this icon. Okay, let me just start adding more like artboards. Okay, I can do this one. Before you know it, those little steps gives you like the small dopamine you need to start accomplishing larger tasks. You understand? So just make it that you can time yourself, okay, I want to design for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Like you just like some people say, okay, I don't have time to design. Okay, I'm stressed out. That's just say, let me just design just 10 minutes. Like, you can put like a stopwatch on your phone. Just take, okay, design for 10 minutes. Just go, just say, let me just design anything I can and just try and do something I can. Let me just okay, let me just do an app screen. Or let me just do a web page or something or a header, or let me just pick a font. Just something just so later on, as you're doing these processes, in the long run, it's due to the compounding effect, later leads to bigger returns in your productive field. Okay, moving on. Yeah, due to the compound effects. And it can also be used for any tax that you have, even your life, like money or anything at all, financial and code. This is a very interesting concept. Systems that go. This was popular. I not put it here. It's by a guy, his name is Scott Adams. He has a very interesting book which delved on this topic, systems instead of goals. Because basically his idea was that goals train us because they look like mountains, but systems are basically like little steps you can just take every day that will later lead us to the mountain. So basically that's the whole concept of systems instead of goals. Okay. Moving on. Okay, this one is very simple. Now sleep now. There's well, this one I could say due to work and people struggle to sleep um because we always say things like okay, like this concept that I've seen like most of my friends they usually have like sleep is for the week, like oh okay, I'm not going to no sleep, we hustle all day. So I say okay, you need to sleep. Now you will say okay, sleep is people look at there's a reason why people look at sleep like okay, sleep is one evil thing that people say oh you're lazy if you sleep and everything. So but actually research has shown that sleep is very essential. Sleep is the missing piece in your creative journey or your work journey. Let me explain now. During the day, we take a lot of information, also pass a lot of our skills. Let's say we read a book, we are pumping information in the book, or we practice the piano, or we practice the Figma, we practice your Illustrator, your 3D design tools, or your Microsoft Word, your PowerPoint, and co. So what happens after the day now, your brain is compiling this into his head, like, okay, this guy is working hard, okay, he's learning this new thing, okay, yeah, yes. So now there will be a point that, okay, I'm doing this Figma thing now, trying to okay, how will I fit this thing? Like, okay, I tried this, it's not working. I tried, it's not working. You know what? I've tried for today. Let me just take it. Let me just go and get my night rest and wake up in the morning and continue. So what happens is that sleep works as a compiler. I messed the spelling up. Like compiling the concepts in the night. So what it does is that sleep, all those concepts you learned, maybe your typography, your design language, systems and code, sleep like jumbles it together and just say, okay, when you wake up tomorrow morning, we'll give him the insights. So what happens is that when you wake up, just drink your water and cool. You just go to your design screen. Like a flash, something just pops like, okay, yes, I can do this way. Before you try it and it works. So this was actually found that like a famous pianist now. So he was saying he was trying to do like a sonata. I think from Mozart. He was trying to do okay. He was trying to find a missing piece. He was practicing all day. He couldn't do it. Just said, no, let me just sleep. He slept. Woke up for like 8 hours. He woke up. He just went to the piano. And he got the final piece. So basically, sleep is just like okay, this guy has read these books now. So now my job now is to mix this concept together, and make it whole and make it so that you can get insights and essential knowledge to perform his tasks. Also, again, sleep is not your enemy. I think there's people always say, no, sleep, you oversleep, and sleep is not your enemy. Sleep is your friend. There is a thing as oversleeping, but the important thing that you get sufficient rest. That sufficient rest in the sense that when you wake up, you don't feel tired. You feel refreshed. You feel as if, okay, yeah, I feel like, okay, I'm going to conquer today. Understand? Now, this may be hard due to our schedules, but the thing is that, and also, okay, there's another important bit I want to say now. Most people do this in that, okay, I will, I will do all nighters from Monday to Friday. On Saturday and Sunday, I will not sleep. So the Saturday and Sunday, it's like people think that sleep is like a bank. Like, okay, yeah, I've withdrawn my Monday and Friday deposits. Now I'm going to deposit it back on Saturday and Sundays. But that's not how it was. Sleep is not a bank. Sleep is like a consistent, like a muscle. You have to consistently sleep those at least 6 to 7 hours every single day to get the benefits in the long run. Which is why sometimes sleep is a very, very difficult. I know because of our schedules and it's very difficult to get, but it's very, very essential for our creative process or for any process at all, because gives you a sense of rest and calm before we take certain tasks. Okay. Now stretching now. Stretching is very important. It's actually, I would say it's better than sleep, but it's very important because it loosens your muscles in a way so that before you start the task, before you wake up. So stretching routines are something that you can check on YouTube. So you can just stretch your hands, stretch your body, or do like a 5 minute session to improve your flexibility and co, so that your body, so you to increase blood flow to your brain, so it helps you to improve your creative process and so forth. Moving on. Okay, this we're going to utilize the deadline effect now. Okay, the deadline effect is basically a psychological effect which suggests that when we set deadline for a particular task or effect, we have a tendency to find ways to achieve those tasks so as to meet up with our deadlines. So this was basically from someone noticed that he works in the magazine industry. It's called that even in a weird way, this magazine was weekly. Even though sometimes it's everything feels like it was going to crash, you always found a way to meet the deadline. He said it was actually kind of shocking that throughout the whole years I spent in the industry, they never missed a single deadline for a magazine. So what he now did was now, okay, um, what are we doing that's making us to meet this deadline effectively, and how can we apply it to our own daily lives? So what he did was, you need to make sure that when we're setting a deadline, let's say now, the job you have been given now, or a task, they say, okay, you must complete it on the, let's say, on the 1st of May. That's the deadline. Mentally, you have to rewire your brain to say, okay, we're going to do it in next, let's say, on April 24th or 26th. That's when we're going, you're going to discard that 1st of May, the real deadline, and focus on getting on the 26th of May. Why? Because this tricks your brain that, okay, this thing is actually very close. And if we don't start doing it now, we're not going to make it on that 26th of May, our fake deadline. But to us, we're tricking our brain that, okay, this is the real deadline. It's not 1st of May, or it's real, or this is 26th of May. So we do that. So okay, we're not okay, let's try and push this thing. Let's try and make this thing on the 26th of May. And that's the deadline effect in summary. Basically, setting our deadlines earlier so that we can achieve it. So and basically, how will I put it in a way? This deadline is that when you get there, when you get on your fake deadline date now, you as obviously you know that it's not the real deadline. You just, okay, you now have time to review your work and check, okay, what can be done, what can we change, and now you're now in a calm state. Okay, I'm done with almost everything, just the finishing touches and this thing and cool. And right then you make your deadline, you submit it early, and you have a good day. So that's the deadline. That's utilizing the deadline effect. Also, okay. Also, again, as a task now, let's say you have a task, setting tasks for deadlines and everything, you have to make sure to divide to smaller because you can get hung up. Let's say now they say, okay, let's say you're going to design like a landing page for a Web3 platform now. Okay, you just say, okay, I'm going to do it on Monday. Now, on Monday, now you went there, you just say, okay, let me start. Now, as you're starting, you're overwhelmed because you're just wondering, okay, how do I start? What do I do? And cool, stuff like that. So what you do is I just say, okay, today I'll do the header. Today I'll do the nav bar. Today, okay, I'll pick a cover image. Today I'll pick the fonts. I'll pick the colors. Then next day, I'll continue the process. I'll do the middle of the Web3 landing page, and I'll do the end. I'll do the footer. I'll do the header and stuff like that. So we divide the tasks this much, so I will not get overwhelmed because the work might be okay. I can't do this thing. Also, you can set different milestones. Like, okay, let's say today I'm sending a milestone to do like a case study by the 26th of April. Okay, I'll say okay, in 3 days now, I'll make sure that I do like 3 app screens. Okay, by this day, by the next, like let's say next 2 days ago, I'll try make sure I do like another, maybe like 4 app screens. Like, so you set it like okay, by this time, the deliverables I'm going to deliver to everybody. Yeah, I'm going to deliver those app screens, and that's basically what you should do, so you don't get overwhelmed, because it can overwhelm you, because you just tired, because you just, I mean, I can't do anything. I might even miss the fake deadline that you even set in the first place. So it's important that okay, we set our deadlines at least 3 days early from the real deadline. We divide our tasks into smaller tasks that we can achieve, and we set milestones so that we make sure that we keep up with the real deadline. Yeah. Also, okay. Also, you can get some information by reading The Deadline Effect by Christopher Cox. That's where I got the concept from. Okay, this one is just basically like a nutritional this thing, magnesium intake. Now, why did I say magnesium? Magnesium also helps with a key factor, sleep. Have you noticed that sometimes when we want to sleep, we go to bed and 30 minutes we struggle to sleep. We're always, we're shifting, we close our eyes, everything, but it's not just working out. So the trick is now we need to, sometimes most people suffer from magnesium deficiency. So we need to eat things like bananas, our nuts, and you can also take supplements. I think most people take supplements, but you can also take supplement of magnesium so that you sleep. Because magnesium is like a relaxing agent, I would say like a natural relaxing agent. Once you take it and you just lay on your bed, you just naturally just sleep and you wake up feeling refreshed. So everybody needs to just increase their magnesium intake. Very important nutrient. This is why I picked. There are so many nutrients I could have picked, but I just picked this one because this one is very important because it makes you sleep better and it relaxes you. Even if you are working, you can just take like a banana or something, and it just keeps you calm, collected, and you just do your work peacefully. And that's what this slide is for. Okay, change your environment. So once in a while, change your environment. Like let's say you've been stuck in your room for all day. Just go outside. If you be outside your gates, just see something new, experience, just breathe, take some deep breaths, and like just experience outside. Then you can just okay, then you can back inside and continue, or rest and move on. Okay. Okay, this one is in addition to the dopamine this thing now. So as I said before, as we're doing any tasks now, make sure that we change our mental picture. As I this is you have to change your mental out from okay, this task is boring, it is hard, it is not useful, and also I'm not good enough to do this and so forth. So okay, this task will be enjoyable, it will be fun. I might even have a nice cup of tea while performing the task. Let me say there's one task that you personally you hate. You're like, okay, I hate this thing. You know what? I hate this thing. I don't want to do it and go. Now you have to change. Okay, like as you're on the bed or you're on the chair, you know what you're supposed to do, but you don't want to do because your body puts in your mind that okay, this thing is hard, it's boring. I'm not going to do anything. So game over. I'm not doing anything. So what you have to do is that you have to change that. Okay, you have to change your mental picture that okay, this task is actually enjoyable, actually fun. And if I try better, it's actually I can even enjoy myself, have a nice cup of tea. I could even learn some new things and so. So you have to change your mental picture of anything you're about to do. You have to change to something that okay, I will enjoy, so that it does not feel like a grind. So I don't feel like you're using willpower that okay, this task is boring and cool, but we have to do this because we have to reach the end goal. You have to do this that okay, this task is enjoyable, it is fun, even though it's a little straining and it's draining, but we have to make sure that okay, we enjoy this, we enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy it. It's going to be fun, and I'm going to relax and enjoy myself. So basically, we try to improve our mental so that what happens is as you play that picture in your brain, your muscles and your brain chemistry start say, okay, this guy now he has put this mental image in our system. Now, okay, we have to everybody, our legs move up, brain, start releasing dopamine quickly, quickly, quickly. This guy he needs it now. He needs to do this work quickly. Let's go, let's go, let's go. So basically, your body adapts and says, okay, he's ready. Let's push on. Your thoughts are very powerful when you're trying to do anything in this life. Okay. Okay, this is another issue again. Now, obviously, if let's say you do the tasks and and cool, there are some thoughts that your mind are like, okay, I'm sure that okay, the design looks all wrong. I'm sure I did the work, but it's wrong. Sometimes repressed thoughts can be very dangerous because it's kind of hit your confidence that okay, this thing was not good enough. You understand? So what happened that okay, you say okay, this design is all wrong, it's not properly aligned, typography is whack, the colors look dull, like okay, these guys don't like it and stuff like that. Now you shouldn't ignore this thoughts. You're like, okay, I'm going to ignore this thoughts and code. You should just basically what you should usually do is that you should carry like a piece of paper and just say, okay, what are the problems I feel are going with this thing? You write it down and you just say, what can I do to the best of my ability to basically fix these problems? Can I change the typography? Can I improve the colors? Can I change can I change the fonts? Can I improve the images, the illustrations? What can I tweak in my workflow to actually make this thing better? And obviously, so that as you do this thing, you have a peace of mind that okay, I've addressed this thing, and I hope, and this is the best of my ability, and I'm sure my clients will like it. It's like okay, you can say something like okay, the text isn't placed properly. So okay, does my typography look bad? What about the white space? What can be done to fix it? You understand? We should try to be not like okay, we should not try to be like hiding from these things that like hiding from our insecurities in a way that okay, this is not, we should just write it down, say okay, what can I improve? What can I get? And if this is the best I can do, then fine. Then you learn and you improve and you move on. Moving on. Yeah. And that's all. Thank you everyone for this session.
Thank you, Emmanuel.
Thank you so much.
I learned a lot about dopamine.
Dopamine, yeah. Yeah.
Dopamine.
Yeah.
Okay. So does anybody have any questions? If you have questions, feel free to raise your hand and I would call you, or you just type it in the comment box if you have any questions. Or you have comments or suggestions as well. Feel free to leave a message or raise your hand if you want to speak about it. Okay, while we wait. And so, Emmanuel, we have somebody. James, all right, you can go.
All right, thank you. I want to appreciate Ima for the lecture. I was tired, but immediately I started listening to it, I think I really followed and I enjoyed it. I want to ask if it were possible, maybe subsequently, if the slides could be shared.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
I will try to get the slides in a PDF format
Okay.
and maybe share it.
Okay.
Don't worry,
Thank you very.
we'll sort it out. Don't worry, to be on the
All
platform.
right. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Yes.
All right, thank you, James. Joshua says he loved the mental commercial parts.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Joshua.
I think we can safely conclude that it was a very enlightening session, and we all took away a thing or two. For me, it was the dopamine that we secrete in our body. I think you stressed a lot on dopamine. Any reason in particular?
Yeah. So, any questions, anybody, so that I can just anybody, please say your question. Don't be shy. Is this star?
I think I have a question for you.
Okay, Mr. Mano, I know you have been waiting for this question since the beginning of the session, so let's go.
Yes, but I was waiting for that. So I see you mentioned dopamine, and you also talked about magnesium intake.
Yeah.
Are there any other enzymes that stimulate productivity? Because I think
Coffee. Coffee.
You say coffee?
Yes, but it's about coffee is that you have to, how would I put it? You have to make sure you're not too dependent on coffee. You understand?
Okay.
Like you can do 2 days on, 2 days off, 2 days on. You understand? Because what happens is that if you're someone that you take coffee every day, the day you decide that okay, I'm not taking coffee, you crash. Because what happens is that your body always at the high state. So now you just decide that okay, I'm not going to do anything today. I'm not going to take that high, like what makes my dopamine levels to get higher. Your brain will just start saying, your brain will start saying with stopping from withdrawal. You just know that not really that high. People always say, but it's not as high as other drugs. But you will feel it. You will notice it. But the key is, I think there's one important key I need to explain to everyone that when it comes to this dopamine thing, You have to make sure that when it comes to anything like music, your coffee, even the magnesium is something that does not dopamine, so it's about you can take it daily, no issues. But your coffee, your exercise, even the cold showers or the cold baths, make sure that you actually space it out so that you don't become dependent on it. You understand? Because if you do, when you now say, okay, I'm not going to do it again, it will your body has not yet adapted to, okay, this guy is not giving us the dopamine hit, it's not giving us that thing again. So we're going to basically be useless today. So you have to be very careful. So it's just about spacing and managing the intakes. But if you space it properly, yeah, no issues at all. Coffee is actually very good. Just space it out properly. There is one, but it's hard to get in Nigeria. They call it maca root. Very popular online, but I don't think you can get it in Nigeria. If you can get it, fine. Just check online on how to get a proper dosage and co. And that will be fine. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Manu.
All right, you can drop the mister by the way. So Abdullah says, I joined very late. I'm just hearing the word dopamine. Can you just give one or two highlights? One or two insights about dopamine, just like a very brief summary. By the way, before you go, by the way, Abdullah, the session is recorded, so it will be uploaded on Asha's YouTube channel. I'll be sending the link below now, so you can always catch up, and everybody else who missed the session. So you can go ahead now, Emmanuel.
Okay. Think of dopamine. Dopamine is life, in a sense. Without dopamine, you're basically dead. There's nothing for you. Dopamine is basically what gives you motivation, action, focus. In a sense, your dopamine levels are messed up. You particularly, you'll be messed up. So, as I said, I was not around for the story. So what happened was that I said a story that there were a bunch of heroin addicts. They broke into a lab and they took a substance. They thought it was ecstasy or MDMA, but not knowing that it was something else. They changed a key chemical in the ecstasy composition. So when they took the drug, what happened that policemen came into the building, they saw the bodies on the floor. They were like, okay, what's going on? They were alive. They were breathing actually. They were alive, everything and cool. But they noticed that they could not move. They were basically lifeless, but they were alive. Okay, I'm contradicting that, okay, they're lifeless, but they're alive. But that's how it was. They were just looking there, stagnant, and just like, okay, our eyes are open, but nothing, no movement, no nothing. What happened was that the drug they took killed their dopamine pathways. In other words, dopamine could not tell the hand to stand up or tell the brain that, okay, it's time for you to action, like do something. So that's how dopamine is so critical to our life process. It's very critical because if you have too much, you become hyperactive, and you basically sometimes I don't advise you to get it too much, because what happens is that when you get it too much over the line, when you now calm down, it's like you start having like headaches, or you can't really adapt to that. So it's good that you put it like in a measured way above the baseline of your dopamine levels. So when it goes back, you don't really notice it. You just say, okay, I can just go back and come back again. So you don't suffer a huge mental crash when you're trying to do something. Yeah. So does that help, Mr. Abdullah? Hello?
So he said it helped a lot.
Okay. Thank you so
we
much.
have another question from Abimbola. Abimbola wants to ask about the deadline effect. In general, do you think it's an effective performance attribute? Sometimes I am bland when I want to design, but sometimes with deadlines, my brain springs into effect. However, I'm concerned about having multiple projects with the same deadline. I hope
The thing about deadlines is that, how would I put it in a different way? Like as a creative now, let's say as a creative, I suffer from that issue too. Let's say I was going to design a website, but because I'm freestyling, I'm saying, okay, I'm going to take I was just okay, let me just design something. Since it's not really a client website or anything, sometimes we need constraints to make us perform better. You understand? Like constraints help us. That's why deadline is a constraint. Sometimes even like, let's say even a website, someone just say, okay, website, you're going to use 3 colors. You're going to use two fonts, and that's it, and that's it. So you look at it and say, okay, this guy is limiting my creativity. It's not letting me to do so many designs and code. But these constraints help you to focus. That okay, these are what I have now, and so this is what I will do with this. This is what I will do with this material that be given to me, so that because if it's too open, your mind will start thinking, okay, I want to do 5 colors. Okay, I want to do like 6 fonts now. Okay, I want to do like, okay, I saw this font yesterday in Creative Market. Okay, I want to use pick that font, stuff like that. So basically, you start suffering from what they call, I mean, we all know scope creep. When they give you a certain scope and you start creeping up, adding all this in and co. And that's what usually happens. That's why deadlines are important. Okay. Also, okay, you said something about having multiple projects with the same deadline. Ooh, multiple projects with the same deadline. Ugh. It's not about this thing. That's why sometimes, in what I will advise, if you have multiple projects with the same, you have to just write it. You have to first step, write out the projects down. Like, okay, I have 1, 2, 3 projects, this same deadline. Second step, write out like, okay, you have to write out like, okay, what are the mini tasks or milestones that have to be reached within each project, and your deadline, your fake deadline, you have to put like a fake deadline, like maybe 4 days, or you can. I suggest you for that, for if you want to try for like a week before the deadline. What usually happens is that once you try your best with the mini tasks and the milestones, you might not finish everything on your fake deadline, but what it has done, that's given you like enough work. You have done that. Okay, this week now, finish it touches, and to be easy. Maybe the next 2 days and co, you are done. So when on deadline, you're not even stressed. You're just like, okay, deadline day. I mean, like, oh, okay, and the meeting, yes, we'll kill it and stuff like that. And that's basically it. Thank you, Mr. Bakari. Bakari.
All right.
Mr. Manu?
So Oluwa Femisiri has a question, I guess. So you
Okay.
can.
All right. So, first, sorry I joined late, but I'll still, go ahead and watch, the YouTube recording. But I've always had a, I don't know if it's a misconception now, but I've always had a conception that dopamine was more of like the indulgence hormone. Like it keeps you, like for me now, I know whenever I go on YouTube, right, scrolling through like videos, gets me like going. There's that sense of satisfaction, right? That's also like, I guess that's it's caused. I don't know whether that sense of satisfaction is caused by dopamine, or I don't know. And then how can that be used in an effective way? Like I think that's what the whole session was about. How your dopamine can be used effectively. But I'm thinking, is it still a misconception if I feel dopamine is a indulgence hormone, right? In a good or bad way?
Are you done with your question, Mr. Femi? Are we
Yes,
finished?
I am.
Okay, okay.
Yes, I am.
So basically now, yeah, right. Dopamine too, when it comes to, that's why you're addicted to your phones. You see, that's why I don't I don't think you were in the beginning. That's why when I was saying those small doses of dopamine, it will make you attached to your, like, your, how would I put it, all those like things that seem hard for you. Later on, it seems easy. It becomes like scrolling a screen, or like a scrolling a YouTube, your YouTube videos and co. Dopamine too. Dopamine has the ability to make you addicted to some certain things. That is a fact. It's also, but it's basically, it's not an indulgence chemical. It's like an action, motivation chemical, and satisfaction chemical too. You understand? It's not really like only, no, I think everybody's focused on, okay, social media, dopamine hits and co. No, no. Dopamine is basically like for every area. But that's why sometimes you have like a dopamine energy store. So when you spend too much time scrolling and co, when it's time for you to do, okay, I want to design this thing now, you are basically drained. You don't, I'm going to go and sleep, because your dopamine store has beginning to be depleted. You don't have anything. So that's why it's good to basically make sure that, I'm not saying you shouldn't scroll your YouTube videos and go, but just you know, like basically just have like in your mind that, okay, let me just scroll, like just put like, okay, let me just scroll like 10 or 20, and okay, I'm done. Okay, I'm going to move on. So that you don't waste enough time, because that thing can be a wormhole, like Instagram, like search button. Like sometimes me personally, I remember I spent like almost 3 hours. I was just scrolling up. I was just checking new logos, new colors, new apps. That's how it hooks you. Sometimes it can be there, but sometimes if you know, just say, okay, this scroll, this search, but let me just scroll like 1, 2, and that's it. I'm done. I will move on so as to conserve my dopamine store. You understand? Or my energy levels. That's very important. Does that, Mr. Femi, does that help?
Yes, it does. But I sort of have like, sorry, just one final question. What happens when
Okay.
you have like you try to want to stop like a, if you're not like totally disciplined, you're not ultimately disciplined, and then
Yeah.
you stop a task. Let's say that you're just like, I'm only going to look at two reels on Instagram, and you do it, and then there's just that drive to want to go back. How do you conquer
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Ooh, that's a very tricky question. I get your point. It's like, think of it this way, like, okay, like how they make these apps, Instagram, TikTok, and cool, they make it to be addictive and cool. Like TikTok, if you're a UX designer, if you notice where they place the love, the basically, you know how TikTok functions. Basically meant to addict you on the spot. So I think what I'm trying to say is that when it's like, basically think of it this is like basically you enter a dopamine highway, like everything is like hits you, and now you want to go and do something serious. Now it's what happens that you have gone to a very high level now. Now it's time to focus. Okay, I want to now try and focus. Now it's going to be very hard for, because before you were just, your brain was basically not doing anything in a sense. You were just life, but you were just schooling and enjoying it. Now and to do really hard thing, like how do I put it like this? Let's say if you're to open an Instagram screen and to swipe to like, it's very easy and cool. But to sit down and design an app screen, or to do, okay, I want to do like, okay, I want to do this portfolio thing. You're like, oh man, this is not easy as swiping. So it's difficult. So that's why it's important for us to learn to enjoy the process, so that when we switch to the hard task, we're just like, okay, this is a normal thing. This is not going to be hard. It's going to be easy. I'm going to do this thing. So it's going to be part of you. But we want, try and reduce your, like, the social medias and co. It's very important that you try and reduce it so that it does not affect, because even though you learn even the dopamine, like the slow release of dopamine, enjoying the process and co, it can still affect you, because how will I explain it? It's like a basically like a portal. It sucks you in, and when you get out, it's very hard to be like in that state that, okay. But what I usually suggest that once you go there, you can just like spend 5 minutes, can stretch your body, do like a push up or run around, and just relax for like another like 5 minutes, like just rest your brain. Like, okay, let me just rest my brain for like 10 minutes, then go back and try and just go back. The task now, once you're starting the task, it's important that just design a little, like just say, okay, let me just design this for, write some text, then build it up, then you cannot continue with your tasks. Is that what, Mr. Femi? Is that good, Mr. Femi?
Yeah, very, very, very good. Thanks.
No
All
problem.
right. Thank you, Femi. Thank you, Emmanuel. I
Yeah.
see Shibiomo has his hands up, but before we take your question, there is a link to the feedback form. So if you want to tell us about the session, how you made it feel, please click the link and fill it. Also, if you're just joining us for the first time, this is your first Asha session, or you've been joining our sessions, feel free to follow us on social media. The links are there in the chat below. And also, if you came late for this session, or you just want to see all the previous sessions we have, because we have sessions like this, feel free to check our YouTube channel. You can subscribe if you haven't as well. And if you like to join the coterie, also the link is down below. So yeah, Shebiomo, you can go now. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes,
Can
we
hear you.
can.
Yeah, so this is more like a contribution to what has already been said. Dopamine and co. We all know that dopamine is a reward chemical. If you're not aware of that, dopamine is a reward chemical. That's why when you do something, you are rewarded with this dopamine. That's how you train your dog. You give it you tell it to do an activity, then give it a reward. Then with time, it gets used to the activity, right? So because the brain is plastic, like the brain is very malleable, right? Once you get used to a certain activity. Look at people who are alcoholic, maybe somebody who drinks alcohol, somebody who smokes, somebody who has built a pattern with his life and with this particular activity, and the brain is rewarded. Look at pornography, for example. You take today somebody who has never seen pornography, views pornography, right? And then the dopamine shoots high, like, wow, this is very exciting. I'm going to try it again tomorrow. Then let's say the person continues for like 2 years. The brain gets used to it. So you would observe, research will now has shown that after a while, the certain level of exposure that you had to this particular activity would not give the same reward again. So it needs more. So that's why sometimes when you look at TikTok, these apps are built to be very addictive, right? Once you view TikTok and you use for an hour, it gets to a time when one eye is no longer enough for you, right? And because the brain is plastic, it's now molds itself to this particular activity. That's why it's difficult for you to break certain addictions, right? And then when you want to do something else, you are not motivated to. That's why you see people who have been reading from when they were young for a very long time. It shoots their dopamine high. Now they want to read more because they've used their activities around this thing, right? So yeah, I was just trying to contribute that sometimes when you're not motivated to do certain things, but you have to remember that your brain is plastic. If you do it today, just do it for 20 minutes today, then tomorrow for 30 minutes, then 45 minutes, keep increasing. After a while, your brain begins to create new neural pathways for this new activity, and then you begin to get used to it. If you continue for like a year, for 2 years, your brain automatically adjusts to it, and then something that you're trying to stop, an addiction that you're trying to stop, that pathway begins to shrink. That's why when you talk about addiction, you do not stop an addiction, you replace it, right? So if you want to stop TikTok, for example, you do not just actually stop TikTok. Your brain needs to channel that energy somewhere else. So you channel it towards maybe designing. You design for like 20 minutes today. You get tired because your brain is not used to it. Tomorrow, you push yourself again. It's going to be easy to create these neural pathways, these new pathways. Tomorrow again, you do the same thing for like 20 minutes. Do it for the next 1 week for like 30 minutes. Then your brain begins to adjust that, oh, okay, there is a new way I'm trying to get reward. And then your brain begins to adjust to this pathway. Yeah, sorry, thank you.
Thank you so much, Sebemo. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That was really insightful. I think the last question we have is from Abimbola. Abimbola says, how do you avoid creative block? A situation where concepts are not flowing and I find myself creating similar design.
Okay. Creative block now. Now everybody suffers from creative block. What I usually do is that when things are not flowing and cool and stuff like that, I start with something small. Like what I usually do, I carry like a piece of paper. I just draw. I just mindlessly draw. I just write. I just scribble. I write something. Maybe if you're in the street, I just say, okay, let me just do something easy. Like, okay, I'm just trying. I'm just doing something a little bit. Sometimes creative blocks is something like, okay, it's like, okay, you're pushing against a wall and you're trying to cross over the wall, but the wall is not, you're not jumping high enough. What you have to do is just try to just relax a little bit, just rest, and just basically just carry a pen and paper and just start scribbling, writing something. If it's your laptop, like just be drawing, just draw some simple shapes or design simple things that you know that won't take more than 2 minutes, 5 minutes. Just play with it. Now, as you're moving on, the ideas will start flowing a little bit. Then that's how you break creative blocks. It's not a definitive way. There's so many ways to break creative blocks, but this is like a process that you can use. That when you're stuck, you just try and move away from that place and just do something else. Just relax your brain. Just play a little bit. Yeah, take your rest and cool, and yeah, to help you with your creative blocks. Yeah.
All right, thank you. I think if there are no further questions, we can call it a day.
Yeah.
So thank you everybody for joining this session.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you everybody that participated. It was really good. This is officially the end of the session. Have a great day. Happy Easter. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Ima, good night.
Thank you. Thank you, Mafu.
Sorry, I came late. I had another meeting online. But you did very
No
good.
problem. No problem. No problem. No problem. Thank you.
Sure, you do another one.
No, leave it till